You would think he would be more dominant and wild in bed, but one thing I like about Silas is that he contradicts that expectation. So, Silas obviously has these connections to the wild, to this animalistic side, right? But he enjoys being both predator and prey. Not only that, but when it comes to his sexual appetite, he approaches it in a rather controlled manner. He's not crazily grabbing at MC, he doesn't need it super quickly. Instead, he can take his time. And if anything, I think he enjoys delayed gratification sometimes. Maybe that has to do with when MC is showing a certain amount of control and dominance, and he likes to feel like she's in control and that he has to listen to her and wait for her cue. But don't mistake him not being wild with him not being passionate, because he has passion in loads and he can last all night long. So that's a win for the Silas girlies. I also like that Silas is a pleaser, as Pedro Pascal might say. In Midnight Feast, yes, I talk about Midnight Feast all the time because how could I not? As a munch lover, how could I not? But let me digress. But in it, we have MC trying to please Silas or mess with him a little bit by touching his rod. I feel like a fan fiction writer. And he actively pushes her away from that. And what he's focused on getting is his midnight feast on. And what's wild too is that he asks her, "Where do you want me to start?" So there's multiple locations on this food tour. He's dining at multiple locations. And then there's Approaching Dusk, where MC finishes. He gets her to finish by eating her, but he doesn't finish. And MC had started off on him, and she was determined, right? She got down there, and he's like, "Whoa, are you afraid I wasn't gonna give my consent? Because you're being sneaky." But he was into it, and he doesn't finish. And he says, "Do you really have to be competitive right now?" He's happy with just getting her off. He was done. He was good. But she was like, "No, you're going to stay here until I get you to finish as well." And he he doesn't just allow her to help him out. He decides to keep eating her. Mom, I hope you don't see this video. Now, I brought up delayed gratification. Where does that come in? I see that in Crying Wolf, where MC was ignoring him, which is a fetish. And I think he has that, but also the fact that he had to wait for her to allow him to have more access to her, and for them to, or for him to eat her. Because again, we can't we can't escape neither the primal part of this, where he's the wolf and she's the sheep, nor him having to get in a meal whenever he's with her. This is over 3 minutes of me talking this subject. But you know what? Also in Midnight Feast, and what I find interesting about this is that I think Silas is excited to wait for MC to finish her meal. I don't think she's really making him wait for her to finish her meal, because he was at her Taco Bell and then knock on the door. It's room service. I talked again about the genius of MC and how she planned all this out. She's amazing. Um, and he has to stop, and then her food comes in. Now, obviously, what they could have done is just kept going. That's beneficial for MC. I know she was hungry, but like, are you that hungry? I think they were both into the idea of Silas having to wait for his midnight feast. I'm sorry, guys. I went like 2 weeks without talking about Silas being a munch for professional reasons, and now I'm back with a lot of thoughts.